The three topoi of Stoicism, or the Stoic egg, is the Stoic division of philosophy, the Holy Trinity of Stoicism. In order to fully comprehend the nature of Stoicism, we have to be aware of the system in which it is organized. Zeno, the founder of the Stoic school of philosophy, Zeno introduces the tripartite division of philosophy, meaning it separates into three parts. Zeno taught in Athens from about 300 BC. His work cultivated the foundation of Stoicism, influencing the infamous future Stoics that were yet to come. His teachings mark the first construction of Stoic thought, and therefore holds ultimate significance. The fundamental aspect of Stoicism is that ethics is central. However, this central teaching is then supplemented by two other fields of inquiry, logic and physics. When combined, they create the three topoi of Stoicism. When looking at Stoicism as a philosophical system, it is clear that aspects can be separated, categorized. Ethics, logic, and physics make up this separation. Looking at these three separate concepts, we can use them to create an egg, the shell representing the logic, egg white representing the ethics, and the yolk being physics. It makes sense for it to be seen in this way. The analogy explains that logic is the foundation of Stoicism. Ethics fills out, expands upon the logic, and physics' significance works in relation to the other two aspects. All in all, the metaphor is trying to portray the way in which these three things work in accordance with each other, meaning they cannot be treated separately. Starting with the outside, Stoic logic is a system of propositional logic, meaning it is based on propositions and the relation between propositions, including the arguments based upon them. Stoic logic was developed by the Stoic philosophers in ancient Greece, and was largely influenced and shaped by Chrysippus, the third head of the Stoic school in the 3rd century BCE. His ideas on logic mainly opposed Aristotle's definition, who believed that logic was defined to be a formal set of rules that governs correct reasoning. The Stoics, however, chose to base logic on the analysis of propositions rather than terms. Towards the end of antiquity, Stoic logic was neglected in favour of Aristotle's ideas of logic, and as a result, the Stoic writings on logic didn't survive. Logic, the Stoics believed, was the part of philosophy that examined reason. It was a means to understand and question. They argued that in order to reach a life filled of happiness, a life worth living, humans required logical thought. Logic offers us the foundation in order to understand the importance of ethics. Without one, the other cannot function. It's the solid and firm art of reasoning that facilitates the construction of the bridge that connects our beliefs to physics and ethics. Diogenes, a Greek philosopher, once said, "And this is what Stoics are like in logical matters. So they can maintain that the wise man is always a dialectician. For everything is seen through consideration of it in arguments, both what belongs to the topic of physics and again what belongs to ethics." Ethics is defined as the moral principle that governs behaviour. The influence of Stoic ethics has exerted itself into early Christianity, evidence of its profound significance. Ethics is the most practical part of Stoic philosophy. Arguing one who has achieved perfect consistency and reached the practical operation of their rational faculties is considered as a wise man. Becoming the wise man, although difficult, is a universal goal for any practicing Stoic. The Stoics split ethics into two important parts: virtue, something that will contribute to happiness, and vice, which contributes to a state of misery. virtue as the only real good, which again opposed that of Aristotle, who argued that happiness depends on ourselves. The Stoics argue that a virtuous person is someone who is free from passions, unhealthy passions that are harmful for the soul. Ethics, essential for any practicing Stoics, constitutes our decisions, guides us towards our happiness. However, it cannot be understood or held together without the shell of logic, or the core understanding of physics. Zeno argued that a bad feeling is a commotion of the mind, repugnant to reason and against nature, avoidance of vice and embracing the good. Stoic physics differs from traditional definitions. Stoic physics is often used to explain the natural processes at work in the universe. The Stoics believed that the universe was a reasoning substance. More simply, Stoic physics is the understanding of the universe, and it's constructed by many systems of thought and concepts, believing that everything is fated and predetermined, believing in destiny. Despite this, the Stoics adopted a compatibilist view, which allowed humans the freedom and responsibility within the network of fate. Everything we see, hear and do is subject to the laws of fate. Aurelius argued in Meditations that we must constantly regard the universe as one living being, having one substance and one soul, and observe how all things have reference in one perception. The perception of this one living being, and how all things act with one movement, and how all things are the cooperating causes of all things that exist. Observe too the continuous spinning of the thread and the structure of the web. Therefore the Stoic's understanding of the universe constructs the core of the Stoic, the core of all beliefs, and the understanding of our own individual responsibility within this web of understanding. By understanding each part of the egg separately, and then bringing them together, we learn to view Stoicism as a system of thought, offering us a wider contextual understanding of Stoic thoughts and concepts, which are ultimately essential in our journey to virtue. The guarding encapsulation of logic understanding defends and brings together the important parts that lie on the inside. The core, being physics, provides the egg with purpose and motivation as we begin to understand knowledge of the world around us, and then the fleshy ethics that bring these two concepts into the light of relevance within our own lives, offering us insight and a focal objective into Stoic teachings. The understanding of the relationship of the three topoi aids us on our journey towards a new daemonic life.